lot of people know of Cornwall because of its beautiful beaches, and perhaps they've been on holiday here. A lot of people returning on holiday and seeing this as a second home, a home away from home. But what people don't know so much is that Cornwall is the most deprived county in England.
Loneliness is one of the worst things I think you can go through, because you've got to make sure that you can get yourself out and try and get the community involved. Try and just do anything to get yourself out for your mental health as well.
It's frightening actually. It's lonely. It's just really can be quite dark. It's not a nice place to be.
Debt can often make you feel sort of a prisoner in your own home, and that isolates you, so people don't feel like they can talk to their friends or family about what's going on in their lives, and that can impact their mental health, so they get worried to leave the house, which creates social anxiety or agoraphobia or things like that.
Going new places, it's the initial getting out, getting going. I kind of like, oh, today I go dockyard, tomorrow I do this. I like to have a structure that I know what I'm doing. I don't really like change, if that's the word.
I think some of the barriers that people face come from the society that we have, that in our society people are encouraged to be independent.
I think it's easier to isolate yourself, be on your own and be in that dark place as opposed to reaching out for help. I think pride can be a big barrier actually, yeah.
Even some of the new houses that are built, they're not built thinking about forming community. They're just built and people feel separated, and they might have jobs that are outside of their communities and they have to travel to work, or they might work online. And so there isn't much of a sense of community where you grow up in the same place and you know your neighbours and you go to the local shop.
The temporary accommodation we're in at the moment is it's a shared garden. It's on a slope. I was actually informed by the management team that I wasn't allowed to let the children play in it. It's been quite hard work. Originally we were in Probus in a temporary accommodation, but that was caked in mould, and the guy that lived below us was not a very nice chap.
And it's just, it's that asking for help as well. A lot of people don't like to ask for help. So yeah, really, you've just got to persevere with it, and just keep going. And a lot of self-help, there's a lot of self-help groups out there, if you put yourself about to try and do that.
So one of the things that we do at the moment is run a community cafe each Monday.
We're funded to support people that are from low-income communities, and we've found, as we've gotten to know people, that often some of the causes are relationship breakdown. So whether they've lived up country and moved here to move away from broken relationships, or whatever it might be broken relationships from family. We find a lot of people are quite isolated, and they may have families of their own, but don't necessarily have a lot of support around them.
People might be on, in terms of debt, they might be on a low income, they might have lost their job, they might be struggling with mental health, they might have lost a loved one, they might be struggling with addiction, and so there's all different things that could play a part in someone. Often it's through no fault of their own.
And I guess the vision behind that in terms of how people can access community is that it's a space where everyone is welcome, and within that our volunteers are really keen to socialise with people and chat and build relationships, and our hope is that people will build relationships among themselves as well.
There are some people that have lived in Cornwall for generations, but pay here is quite low. So when we had a cafe with the food bank, we found that a lot of the people accessing that actually had jobs, but they just didn't make enough money to support their families.
Just to say a little bit about Lanterns. Lanterns is a midweek support group that was set up initially for CAP clients, people we were working with, and then it just grew to being available to everyone. And it's a place where I really wanted people who walk through the door to have a sense of family, a sense of friendship and a sense of belonging. So when people come, it's really important that people get a really warm welcome. They'll come and grab a cuppa. Here in our group we have an interactive Christian teach. There's a live band that plays. It's set up in a cafe style, so it's really kind of informal and relaxed. And then one of the valuable things is that we have support group time at the end, so that people can get to be listened to and offload some of the things that they're going through.
One thing that we can't solve all these problems. We can't give lots of money to the people that need money. And a lot of times, particularly when they're in a job that just doesn't pay well, it's really hard to know what to do. But what we are trying to do at the Dockyard is provide community and to help people form friendships. So even though they might not have a big family around them and relations around them, they can ask for support as they make friends.
And when I was chatting to some people about how do they feel about the Lanterns, they were talking about how it's actually given them a place to come and make friends. Sometimes it's difficult to get out the door, but they kind of find themselves putting their shoes on and making themselves go out the door. And when they get here, they're relieved that they have, because one lady was telling me, I just can't wait for Tuesday to come around so that I can come and see my friends at Lanterns.
Today, as I said, I've had a bit of a slide and, not been... And I got up this morning and I've been fighting with myself, my anxiety and everything else, Oh, I couldn't be bothered to do this, I didn't want to do that. And I actually had to argue with myself this morning to come here, because I know that once I'm through them doors, then I'm safe.
Another person said to me, actually Lanterns is my only group of friends, and it just sort of really touches you to think actually this community group plays a valuable part and is important in people's lives.
And I can ask for help, and everything that I need is here to help me. So I've just got to open my mouth and ask for help.
We have a swap shop, so somewhere that people can come and take clothes and toys and books, and also give clothes and toys and books if they want to.
Some of the benefits of coming here, the pay how you can model, means that people are sharing what they have.
I guess one of the values of Dockyard is everyone contributing, so the food and the drink and the cake is all on a means can basis, so we have suggested donations per item, but people can obviously have that for free if they need.
I come to the Dockyard probably I think I've been here every time since it's opened. It really helps me, because it gives me something to look forward to on a Monday, because obviously I can sort of leave Elsie just run around, there's no danger, she can't hurt herself. Meeting new people as well. Elsie's made some new friends, and Shannon and myself, which is obviously helps a lot, because I find if you go somewhere and nobody talks to you, it's like, oh, don't want to go back again. But here it's really friendly, really nice, everybody's lovely.
I don't know people down here. I mean, when we first moved here, we didn't know anybody. Over the period of kind of a year and a half, 2 years, I've gotten to know people. People in the Dockyard, we're kind of, I'm starting to kind of get friendlier or friends with them. So yeah, and it gives me a chance to have an adult conversation rather than talking about what TV channel I'm going to put on the TV, Peppa Pig or Paw Patrol. So, and I need that adult conversation. I think people just need adult conversation in general. And I talk to my friends back home, and I talk to my parents a lot, but it's not the same as kind of face to face. So.
Often people have a barrier. I think it's recognising that people might need to take slow steps, and they might not be able to come straight through a door like this. So you might grab a cup of coffee, and then you see them saying yes to a cup of coffee, which is is a great step forward. Or they might accept your telephone call, and there's a reach of friendship, and those things are breaking loneliness and isolation. You might go out to a cafe and have a cup of coffee, and then it's a stepping stone into a group or a wider group of people and a support network. But it's just listening well to people to understand what are the barriers that would stop you coming to do something, and working with them to overcome.
We had a lady come to the food bank, and we had a cafe there, and we got to know her over weeks, and I knew her daughter from the school run, and so I gave her a lift because she had an injury and couldn't walk. And up until then she was quite isolated. She didn't want to go out. She'd had some bad experiences with people and felt like it wasn't safe to go out. But because I was able to give her a lift to the cafe, and it was a safe space where people were friendly and she could be herself, she said that going to that place built her confidence up, that she felt happier by going there, but also it encouraged her to think about her life and wanting more for her life. And so there was a lot of positive effects of encouraging someone to come out, even though they might feel like it's unsafe, but showing them that it is a safe space. And in that safe space, as she was listened to and she was able to talk about ideas, she felt more confident to do more for herself.
And so that's lovely. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing people who maybe started not going out their door to now coming. And I remember somebody just saying to me, I can't believe I just never wanted to come, and when I did, now look at it, it's just such a highlight for them, which is great. You're seeing people growing confidence and self-worth, and that's such a lovely outcome, yeah.
Life's great at the moment because we've finally been offered a place which will be our permanent residence now, and it's in a lovely location. Got a garden, which is the main thing. The kids haven't had a garden for the last 2 years, and being at an age what they are now, they really need a garden. They got a lot of energy to burn off. 2 boys, 3 and 4. They need a garden.
Also, what we've loved is, as we've gotten to know people, it's not just about them getting support from us, but they're also offering support to the cafe and other members as well.
It just feels a comfortable place to come for me personally.
Which obviously I appreciate them doing this for. I'm glad I heard about it actually. It's really good.
And ultimately we want people to experience life in its fullness. And I think that is possible even with financial struggles, but I think it's possible when you have community around you, and when you have friendship, and when you can have fun, and when you can have someone to cry with when things are really tough, but just to know that you're not on your own.